Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, live, y'all. Happy Saturday. So I just wanted to give some life lessons that I learned at the car wash. Seriously. So my husband was like, you know what? Just go pay the 35 bucks and then just give a $15 tip or whatever and just get your car washed, right? And I was like, that is a lovely idea. And I really appreciate it. But in my heart, I was thinking, I'm a really able person and I'm so lucky, to be able at this time in my life. Annie Beard, welcome. I'm talking about life lessons learned at the car wash. Like, seriously, that's my topic. Go to a car wash? I would love to know. So I went ahead and took myself to the car wash instead of having them do it. And I thought, you know what? It'll be on my own time. I can get it done for me. And so the first thing was just having fun in the car wash. Like, I love it. I love all the water coming at me. I like the colored bubbles. You're not in bed yet. I know, it's exciting. That's refreshing because I'm right at that time, right? Oh, so funny. I'm so glad you're with me. But yeah, I love the bubbles. I love the water. I love the craziness of the car wash. And then after I got through, I know it's just so fun. It's so fun as a kid, and the kid in me. When I got through, I went ahead and pulled in, and this place was very cool because it had free vacuums, which I love because normally I'm like putting in the quarters, and they had free vacuums and they were really good. And then the most fun by far was they had one of those little air pressure things. So you can literally take it and do it and get all of the little things out of every crevice. And I had so much fun. I can't even think of what it's called, but an air hose, I guess. It was just an air hose. But I totally did the air hose. I got all the nooks and crannies out. I went over to the machine and put in my quarters to get some things to help me. So I got the tire dressing, if you will. I got some, like, I just got like all the toys. Okay. One thing got caught in the machine and pounding wasn't going to help, but a person came and helped and got it. The thing was, though, as I was doing this, because my husband was like, really, Juliana, why? We can afford it. Get someone else to wash the car. There were such beautiful lessons. Because the first thing was, we have to remember in our journey, and of course, the journey is always health and food, that while we can do it ourselves, we most certainly can at least use the tools that are available, right? The tools that are available. And those little wipes and hand towels and tire dressings and the fun little air, hose was all tools available to me if I dared to choose to use them. And I most certainly did. My car turned out beautiful. But while I was there was music playing, and it wasn't necessarily my music, right? Some of it was. Some of it was a total jam that I could relate to, but some of it wasn't. And people were coming and going, and everyone was just busy. There was an energy. I don't know about you, but hello in California. What COVID, what mask, what anything right now. Like this weekend, oh my Lord. I mean, it was beautiful though, too. There were these two men, this guy pulled up, and he saw this other guy and recognized him. And you could tell that it had been a year of COVID because he literally just ran up and hugged this guy. And it was so sweet to just see these two men going, oh my gosh, we're free in this moment. But yeah, there were families on bikes. There were bikers galore. There were just car after car. And I was like, wow. I mean, I imagine the whole country is just wide open right now. I don't know, but it certainly is here. And so there was kind of a beauty in that. But I chose to wear my mask. I mean, I will just do that to protect myself anyway when I'm in public like that. But as I was doing it, and I was physically feeling my body, having to crawl over seats and pick up the mats and get out there and vacuum each one and take a moment to wipe everything down. Initially, I felt really good about like round one. And then when I pulled back, I zoomed out a moment and I noticed a lot of things that a professional would have noticed right away. And so I kind of went to round two and I got more resources and I brought them in again to really wipe down and go a little deeper, right? And so I took the time to kind of do that. And then finally, even a third time, I pulled back out and went back in and saw one more time. Not perfection. This wasn't about perfectionism. I'm so glad you get how I feel. Yeah. First of all, and I'm not sure if you're referencing just the whole people thing or the understanding that things come in layers, right? Annie Beard, you're just a joy to me. You're such a joy to me. And I pray we can work out our shampoo. And you never told me, is it, and tell me in the comment, is it Monat or is it Monet? I would love to know. Like you'd have to phonetically spell it for me. But is it that Monat or Monet? But anyway, I pray that we work that out because I want to honor you. And you were such a blessing to get me that shampoo. Anyway, though, so yeah, that's what I was thinking about my food process, right? In just in general, as I've seeked a ton, I know how to spell it, but I don't know how to pronounce it. So you have to actually say mo and then not, like not, or you have to say mo and then nay, like nay. Like, can you spell it like that so I can see? Kind of phonetically. Mo and then not, like no, you can't do it, Juliana, or mo and then nay, like nay. Tell me which one, and then I'll know how to pronounce it. Monat or Monet? Monet. Ooh, it's Monet. But it's definitely nay. Okay, Monet. And I know it's a fabulous product. I'm just so dang sensitive because I'm certain there were no actual. Let me give you the backstory really quickly. Annie Beard, being so loving, hooked me up with Monet shampoo, and it said fragrance free, and I'm sure it was fragrance free. But because of all the combinations of whatever it takes to make it, it was still too fragrant for me. And so God bless her, I was returning it and trying to get her credit. But anyway, okay, Monet. No, it sounds so fancy. It was not any of the ones I chose. Okay, so my lesson here for sure in the car wash, which was so beautiful, is, and this is the whole analogy, is that in our walk with food and everything else, there is fun and excitement. Like when I was going through the water, when I was going through the bubbles, when I was going through all of that, right? And there's a little bit of surrendering to that too, because you're not in control as the car is going through. You don't know what's going to hit your windows. So there's a lot of that going on. So that was kind of the first part. And then after the initial introduction and fun, you have to get to work. You have to get down to the work. And so that's what all the physicality and the labor of getting in there and cleaning every nook and cranny and wiping it down. And it's hot here. It was like 94. I was melting, but in a really good way, you know? And then even as you're finally ready to dive in and do the work, you might realize that you need another set of resources, which of course was me going over to the vending machine. And in getting that, and again, this whole analogy of the car wash versus life, when I got to the vending machines, there was a ton of nonsense. So there was the food, and there was the in food-like products, let's be fair. There was the food and the drinks and all the nonsense in the whole first vending machine. And in the second one, there was still a whole bunch in the top. And finally, very humbly, there were the supplies that I actually needed, right, to do my car. And that's so true in life as well. There is going to be an unbelievable amount of advertisements coming at you, options coming at you, other people's food choices coming at you. And if you look really carefully, by grace, there will be a small little corner of your food that belongs to you, right? And that's exactly what happened. It was amazing. So I really enjoyed that. At one point, my husband called and he's like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what are you doing? You could have had him do it for you. And when are you going to get home? And the animals need you." And I thought, you know what? It's really funny. In this moment, I was having so much fun and there was so much peace, and it was really a joyful experience for me. And these lessons were just coming at me. To get that phone call of what I wasn't doing right, it almost crashed my experience. And then I was like, no, this moment is for me. It may mean nothing else to anyone else, but it's for me. And that's the same thing on our walk with our health and our food and everything else. People may not get it. They may never get it. They may think we're in for all the wrong reasons. Like this one person was saying, you know what? It is the oldest story in the book. It doesn't matter. Okay, like let me actually think of that one that always says, eat right, exercise, die anyway, right? Eat right, exercise, die anyway. And this person was like, I can do all the things right all day long, but I can't control when I'm going to die. And I thought, wow, 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 wow. Okay, I get for people who are like God fearing and believe that God has a clock on us and that at some point the clock expires and it doesn't matter what you do. So I had to clarify for them that my journey, my message, my walk is that no matter what, there is a better way to be living in the interim. So whether God has a clock on us and there's a last ultimate heartbeat, there's a better way in the meantime. What is the quality of life? What is the lack of inflammation in the body? What is the blessing of being free of the brain fog and the physical discomfort that comes with eating food-like products, that comes with eating nonsense, the medical pills and oh God, just the list can go on forever. Choosing to not consume food-like products, toxic waste, dead carcasses, choosing not to consume all of those things is only a gift to ourselves. Yes, God bless the animals who will not die as a result of our choices. But the gift is ours. And what I know is that so many people have been hurting for so long and they've been out of control for so long that they don't even remember what it's like to be healthy. It was so cute. Before I went to the thing, and of course, this is just a Saturday, right? So I'm just on it. But before I went to the car wash, I went to the bank. And I was in line at the bank. And there were literally 3 families in front of me. And there was a man and his son, and the son was probably 4 years old. And then there was a woman with a little baby, in the carrier, and a little son who was probably 3 years old. And then there was another woman with a son and a daughter. And the neatest thing about this was just watching those children be so completely free in their bodies, right? They were wiggling and they were jumping in the moment and they were seeing how high they could lift their leg. And the little baby was doing all these busy things in the carrier. And I thought, that's what eating plant-based, and thank you, Anna Beard, who says there is so much plant-based God food. Are you thinking, were you saying God food or good food? Because I agree that's all from God. But I don't know if you left your O out. Yes, there's so much good, but the good tends to be sponsored by God because it tends to be things that were grown, right? In a garden, so beautiful and not something killed on our behalf. So I completely agree with you. These little children were all so free in their body, and I think that's what comes with eating right. When we honor our body the way it was designed, with plant-based fruit and vegetables and plant-based fats, like avocados and flax seeds and chia and all those things. And for people who do a handful of nuts or whatever, there becomes a freedom. And I was saying this to this individual because I was like, you're angry. You're so angry all the time. Packaged nonsense makes me very angry. When I give in to food-like products, I used to think, well, you're just criticizing yourself. You're overjudging yourself. You're bummed that you ate that and you're putting yourself down. I'm actually quite sure now, being removed from that for a moment, that it is a physical, chemical response in my body that becomes very angry, very short-tempered. My body doesn't have the resources it needs to flourish because it's trying to assimilate what to do with all of the nonsense, right? Well, that is most certainly true when you're eating dead animals who inevitably, when they were killed, were killed in fear, were killed in trauma, had adrenaline rush, right? I was seeing, oh, from God, I knew it. Annie Beard, you're such a God person. I love it. I didn't want to presume, but come on, I got you. I was seeing a thing where, they literally have 20,000 chickens per house, right? Per house. And they have no room to move. And some of them accidentally peck each other to death. And because they grow in 6 months for what should take 18 months or even 2 years, they become too heavy for their legs and they can't even move and all of that. And what they were saying was they literally put them in like a blue light so that the poor little chickens are thinking that it's night to try and keep them calm right before they slaughter them because they don't want the adrenaline because it won't taste as good, right? I'm like, oh my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. And yet for me, I have a past, right? I ate a ton of animals. I didn't favor it very much as a child, but as I got older and I was able to choose my own fish and I was able to choose regular chicken instead of fried chicken and stuff like that, which I never liked. I thought I was being healthy by eating chicken that was grilled or chicken that was, whatever. I thought I was making a healthier choice. And based on where I came from, maybe I was, right? So I have a footprint. I get that. But again, with more knowledge comes responsibility. And I will take on that responsibility, right? I have the responsibility of saying I have been informed. I have learned better. I have an understanding now of the better way to live, the better way to honor the planet, the better way to eat, the better way. And it's my responsibility. God bless Annie Beard. If you don't know her, look her up. She's Annie101 on Instagram. And she just does amazing content every single day. And yes, she does sell Monet products, which are vegan and fantastic, and they have them for the face and the hair and everything else. Look her up on Instagram, and it'd be amazing if you chose to get into that and purchase it from her. But she is a God person, and her content is so beautiful. I mean, she's a living testimony to the better way. And I always mention Tanny Raw. And I do call her a social media phenom on every channel. And Tanny Ross says, I'm not a phenom, I'm just Tanny. I know, but if you look up the definition of phenom, it does say an exceptional individual, who has mastered something. And she has definitely mastered raw food. You're welcome, Annie. I love you so much. She's mastered it. And I remember when I first met her and it said Tanny Raw, I thought her last name was Raw. Like that's how ill-informed I was on the entire raw thing. But anyway, I bring up Tanny Raw because I just feel like she understands, again, with patience, that people are on their walk. They can always improve a little. I'm not asking you to never eat meat again. I'm asking you to eat less. And I'm asking that when you choose to, it's out of grace and that you're so grateful for that one moment and for that one animal's life that was sacrificed, that it's a beautiful moment instead of a presumption that at every flippin' meal, at every fast food restaurant, you'll just go for it. I was talking about, the drive-through and how it got me to my life in the comparisons. And I don't mean to go on a tangent, but I have to mention this for a moment because at school, the children get free food, right? They're provided free food. The amount of waste, I want to cry. I don't even want children to drink cow milk, but every time I throw out like 20 of those little cartons, I'm just praying for every cow that was sacrificed and their babies as a result of providing milk that was never even consumed. The different meat, I don't even want them to eat it, but I just cringe as I'm throwing away all of the meat. And don't even get me started on the back of the cafeteria. And this is just one school. I know it's so sad. And the joke is they won't let us give it back. Like if I thought if I called the cafeteria and said, hey, no kids touch this yet, can I please return it? No, we're not allowed. And especially with the COVID, but I think it was true anyway. And then in the back of the cafeteria, they have thrown out so much. So while we have billions billions of animals being killed. Okay. I think they said 50 billion animals are killed and consumed every year. How many of those are actually consumed? They're killed, but there's so much waste that they're never consumed. And in America in particular, I'm so sorry. And then same thing for the dairy. How much milk is thrown out? I know some people are working on this, and God bless them 1,000 times, because I know there's some apps where you can actually call someone and say, hey, we have food, come get it. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. But might we start at the beginning? What if meat was so precious that people had to actually pay what it's worth? Right now, I'm paying through the nose. Are you kidding me? For every organic lettuce and fruit that I want. What if people literally had to pay $20 a pound for ground beef instead of $1.99 or $2.99 or whatever? What if they had to pay $40 for a great cut of steak? I'm talking at the store, let alone fixed for you at a restaurant. Wouldn't it become far more precious? And wouldn't less animals over time not only be grown, but consumed? I would love to flip that market on its head. Make meat all as expensive as you want at the risk of people cutting back. And make plants and fruit, which should totally be available to us, less expensive so people will eat it. Yeah, it is a great idea, but it's so logical. And then at the end of the day, I have to say, this is the devil's playground, Juliana, and you will see some grace down here and you won't see some other grace, but you can still be grace. Yay, I'll be grace all day long. Let's pray for that, Annie Beard. Let's pray that as we move forward, things will be priced in perspective, and then we won't just worry about what we do with the extra meat and milk. We won't even kill the animal to begin with, nor will we even deal with the milk to begin with. I would love that. Let's make those things far more precious. And I do believe prayer can change everything, so I'm game for that. But peeps, so lovely to be here. Annie, you have a brilliant night, and cheers to you on the reset tomorrow morning. I jokingly sent Tanny Raw a Q&A question. I'm like, this is my Q&A question, and I don't know if I turned it in on time, and I'm not sure if it's a topic of the week, but how did you get so phenomenal, T-Raw? Woo woo. Anyway, super cute. Okay, God bless you. Thanks for showing up. You're a blessing to me, Annie Raw. Thanks everybody else who watches this later. This is silent applause and sign language. Silent applause, my friends. I'm going to get back because I've got great things going on. I've got food prep. I've got laundry. I've got animals outside. I am doing it today. I have a great plan to be healthy all day, and I'm rejoicing to no end. So next time you're at the car wash, think about that. What are the gifts of that car wash to you? There is a great comparison if you just look for it. All right, my friends, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you are blessed. I don't know if it's going to end. And you can do it. And yay.